So, welcome to DOREEN'S African Experiences, and today I've come to teach you a few things about how things work. Uh, it's to the best of my knowledge that most people don't know how some of these things work. So many of us also didn't know how these things work. But in life, you have to apply yourself, seek knowledge. It's not an insult when you don't know how something works. It simply means you need to learn how to use something, how to work it, and how to make it work. I've had an experience which I'm not comfortable going in details with, but let me break down something for you. Maybe a few will learn, or maybe you don't learn. It's really up to you. But this is YouTube. We put information out there for the whole world. Whoever wants to learn, they'll come to it and they'll learn something. When you're making these things, yeah, these are a few types of blocks we have. Blocks on a brick and a paver. They're different designs, but the mechanism is the same. This is a clay brick, right? This is a paver, this is a block, and this is a bigger block. You see, there are different types of these things, but their mechanism is not so different. When you know how one of them works, you can easily learn how the other works. I'm going to teach you starting with the following things. The mechanism of making a clay brick is the same mechanism of making a soil brick. Now, this information is probably mostly applicable in Uganda when it comes to bricks, because I haven't seen a lot of other countries making these bricks like that. So obviously, I cannot speak for them, but I'm speaking for people here. Measurement is important. Now, let's start with the concrete blocks. Let me first skip this because these are simple. Concrete blocks, pavers, anything concrete, especially in Uganda, right? It's coming down to two things. Number one is measurements. What's your idea of a measurement? There is people making it the following way. There is people making it sand, cement, and that can work, especially if it's not going to be load bearing. When we say load bearing, it's two things. Number one, anything that's going to have anything sit on it, that's load bearing. When something is going to be load bearing like that, it is going to have something, for example, a house. Its load is the roof. All that timber, everything that's seated onto it, it's a load. If you put something heavy on your head, you're carrying a load. You have become load bearing. Anything that applies external pressure onto you easily is a load, physically. Now, some of these things are not load bearing. For example, pavers are not load bearing. And when something is not load bearing, you are not under duress to make it the same way you make something that's load bearing. But most people are looking for the best, so they will make it the same way. Yes, pavers are load bearing in the sense that something will sit on it, but the mere fact that it's flat on the ground, it's not as load bearing as these other things. Everything has a process on how it's made. Number one, bricks. The process of making a brick, they're going to dig up this clay or soil. They're going to sort it. After sorting it, they are going to keep it for some time. Not a long time, but the reason they keep it like that is to ensure that it achieves what it has to achieve to reach its maximum capacity in order to be made something like this. Not every soil can make something good. So they are specific, especially with the soil bricks. With clay, all clay is clay. Now, basically, when this is made, in order for it to achieve its maximum strength, they burn it. especially if it is just clay. If it is clay and cement, it's a different procedure, because cement is able to give it its maximum strength. But because there is no cement, you burn this clay brick. Even they have stages in this burning. When you go to buy these, there is some that's black, there is some that's a bit yellow, and there is some that's brown. All this tells a different story. That's why when whatever you're going to build, make sure you tell someone, I'm putting this in the foundation. They'll give you a different band. Yeah, different band color. When you're going to do a septic tank, different band color. When you're building a house, different band. Or they can give you any, especially if you don't know what you're buying. Now, for anything to achieve its maximum strength, it must go through something. Everything, even you as a person. Now, let me not go into that. Let's come back to the concrete blocks. When you make this and this, their ratio is the same. 1 to 2 to 4. When I say 1 to 2 to 4, it simply means I put 1 bag of cement to 2 wheelbarrows of sand to 4 wheelbarrows of stone dust. When you're doing a concrete mix, it's not the same as this. This wants a lot of water. Bricks, clay, soil bricks, they want a lot of water, which is not the same for these concrete ones. You could find that mix taking at least 2 water cans, 1 water can, depending on how dry the material is. Yeah, and this is something I don't know how to teach you, because you have to know this to do it. The water has to be perfect, and if you realize that the water, it has exceeded, you don't pour the material away, you go and get a certain material. In my case, I choose stone dust. Stone dust has to be the most element in this mix. Why? Because stone dust is like the super glue of this material. For every time you are buying any concrete block or brick, and stone dust is the most component in it, that can never go wrong. It can never go wrong. I don't care what anybody tells you, it can never go wrong. And I've seen some people in some countries using adhesive. Adhesive practically does the same job as stone dust. Do you get that? They're similar. We have a situation with cement in Uganda. We have companies that's been coming up. We have Simba Cement. Yeah, I think our Indian brother owns that company. This is a big company, by the way. Huge, very huge. We have Tororo Cement. We have SEM2, SEM4. Then we have the other one in a paper bag. Now, that's the best in Tororo, but it's more expensive than any cement on the market. And because all cement will do the same job, so you try to look for what you think is within your price, or what you think, yeah, you can afford. We have Hima, we have Kampala, we have Nyati, we have different companies. But all these people are not dumb. These are businessmen, big businessmen. If you find that Simba is the same price as Tororo, that should tell you something. It should tell you something, that they would not have raised it to the same price as something that's been on the market so long if they didn't believe in it, if they didn't know what its making is. Yeah, and you people, stop this habit of sticking with companies just because that's all you've known. Your generations, your grandparents, your parents, you learn to apply yourself. Use these things. See the difference. See the difference, and you will understand that some of these companies, yes, they have a name, they've been around long enough, but what they're producing now is mostly bullshit. And that's on God, that's the truth. Do you understand that? It's not an attack on any company. I don't care for any of these companies. I'm being honest with you. Simba Cement, to me, every time I do these jobs, it's been working for me. That's it. Because I've used all these other companies, and I'm coming down with my conclusion, which I made a long time ago. Simba has been working for me. Maybe Tororo is working for you, but all of you are just using some of these things without applying yourselves. You don't know what's good. You're just like, oh, Tororo, Tororo. That's what you know, and that's okay. No one is saying you're dumb or nothing, but learn to apply yourselves. Stop when you're coming at me telling me something is bad. Give me proof, give me evidence. You know, this habit of people not knowing what something is and you're just coming with an assumption that is bad, but you've never used it, you've never compared it, because I'm talking to you after comparison. I've seen a job, same job, where with Simba you use one bag and it's enough, but with another type of brand I'm not going to mention now, you need 1.5. Do you know what 1.5 costs right now with the price of cement? Are you willing to pay that much money for the same job someone else can give you at the same price? Let's have respect for each other. Learn to ask. When you make a concrete block, brick, anyhow you make it, whichever material, machine you use, it has to be cured. Curing is important. 14 days, 28 days, some people are curing for months on end. The longer you cure it, the more stronger it will get. I swear to God, you gonna make sand and stone dust, because that also exists. Yeah, you gonna make stone dust and cement, sand and cement. All this is possible, but every time your material is less, it means you have to buy more cement. Yet you could still use all this material and get the same thing or even better, depending on how you take care of it. Let's be guided. We're grown-ups. If you don't know how something works, ask. I want someone to come out and challenge me. This paver has existed for only 5 days in its life. Literally. You've watched me compress these things and put them out there. Have you seen anybody that's compressing something? Forget this people that's using hydraulic machines. I'm talking about a manual machine or these local machines they just pound and leave it there. Have you seen them being able to lift this thing instantly as soon as they make it with their bare hands? No. What does that tell you? It doesn't tell you that their things are bad. It simply tells you that this is slightly stronger, more compressed. And the harder the compression, the stronger. And the better the mix. 1 to 2 to 4 is not a bad mix. Come to me with facts. Curing process is minimum 14 days. You can go longer, and some people their minimum is 28 days. But you put this 5 days old through a test. Another thing you must know, things like pavers. Do you know why they level the ground first? Actually, most construction, everything has to be on level. Even these blocks, if they're not on level, they're going to crack. And if they're weak, they're still going to crack, even if you build with them. Do you know why? It's very risky to use blocks like this on a house, to build a house. Number one, they're too big. The way people in Uganda build with them, they're not even putting any steel bars between them. Now, this is a semi-hollow block. It's not completely hollow. But these hollow blocks, you're supposed to put steel bars through them for extra strength. Have you seen people do that? No. Most of them are not even putting pions in these buildings. And then they come to you and their buildings are collapsing, cracking. But you don't know why. Instead of consulting, what can I do about this? Ask anybody else, someone that's not biased. They're going to tell you the truth. Concrete must be cured before you test it. And even after you test it, yeah, even before its curing process has even reached halfway. What does that tell you if it's still that strong? Let's apply ourselves. This is not an attack on anybody, you know. In the construction world, we go through so much. Because you are dealing with people that half the time don't know what they're talking about. But they want to show you that they know what they're talking about. What is so wrong about you asking? Ask a question. You don't have to ask me. You don't have to ask somebody you know. Ask someone that has an unbiased opinion. Someone that's not biased. Ask them, someone that's honest. Someone that you yourself is going to look for. Say, Doreen, I'm going to look Because these people are all over the internet. You know, people are putting this information on the internet. Go do a little bit of research. Watch these videos. Ask questions. They will tell you. Do not make biased decisions, because you are going to end up losing out. You know, after some time, even when you realize you are wrong, you won't come out and say you were wrong. But after you've met a bunch of people so demoralized about what they do, that's not right. People cement, sand, stone dust. Yeah? And if you make, now something like this doesn't have a strong compression. If I dropped it, and this has been around for almost 2 years, right? If I drop it, it's gonna crack on impact, at least twice or something like that. And this is heavy. This is heavy, you know? You drop this thing, you know, after two, 3, it will crack. It's not the same. It's not the same. That's what you don't realize. That's it. The compression is weak. You know, this same amount of time, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, we could go all day. We could go all day. Do you get that? The same mix, you know, 3 days, only 5 days, you know, and this can take hits. All I'm trying to show you is that before you go to someone, do some research about what machines do, how much compression they have going on, you know, do all this research. That's all I had to say. But I hope you learned something. Please, please do research. Do research. No matter what you do, cure. Learn to cure these things. You cure twice. Once in the morning, once in the evening, unless you're living in a desert. If you're in a semi-desert area, 3 times. But unless you're living in Dubai or some shit like that, don't cure 3 times. And even when you go to cure, make sure they look white or they're less damp. If they're less damp, then you cure. If you look at them that they're still damp, please don't cure them. Wait. And you can also cure once a day. In the evening, that's if you are covering. Cure in the evening, cover. Wait for the following day evening, open, cure, cover. That's fine. After the amount of time in which they're still brittle, you know, after the amount of time in which they're still brittle, then you're free to even open them up and leave them. You know, after 28 days, you can take your tablets elsewhere. You can leave them. That's why you're walking around these businesses and their things are open because they've been fully cured. They're perfect. You can go buy them now. You know, let's apply ourselves, people, please. And the difference between these two, this is the best. This is the best. Clay is the best component to make a brick with. Why? Clay can swallow water and spit it back out. Clay can withstand anything. And I've seen so many of my Asian friends, they are making blocks. They don't put sand, they put clay and cement. Some of them, and they have strong buildings. But here we don't sieve clay. It's just solid like this, so you can't put it in a machine. That's why some people actually are putting plaster sand. Do you know why they are putting plaster? Because plaster sand has an element of clay. Remember, plaster sand, they get it from swamps. The same swamps where they get clay. That's why when you add a little bit of plaster sand in your mix, it compacts fast, real fast. And that's a trick. Why? The element of clay. That's why. No one is getting clay, rather clay from a lake. No one is getting plaster sand from a lake, a river or some shit. They're getting them from swamps. Clay, you dig your clay. Below clay, that's where plaster sand is. So when most people dig clay, they'll tell you clay is done in this area. And then what happens? They say, do you have a trucker who wants plaster sand? They can come and we dig. That's how they get plaster sand. That's why you'll find some people putting some plaster sand in the mix. How? You could do your 4 stone dust. Of your 2 sand, you say 1 lake sand, 1 plaster sand. It's fine. You're still going to get something extremely strong. That's the thing. And if you don't want to put plaster sand, that means you're going to use only lake sand, and that's also fine. But remember, the same people who are shipping these machines to Africa are using they're using clay and cement. They're not using sand. They are not. These are the people that's making for you these machines. In fact, their tests are done. Yeah, some of them are adding aggregate, yeah, a little bit, and some are adding adhesive. But nobody, most of them, I can swear to you, they're not putting lake sand. They're not putting lake sand because most of these countries are surrounded by oceans. How many lakes do they have to dig from to get this sand? Very few. Very few. I've never seen anyone, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm not informed, but people don't dig lake sand from the ocean. I've never seen that. So people, let's be informed. Inform yourself. Do research. Any job you are doing in construction, do research first. Be it roofing, be it buying nails, be it by anything. First, have your own information before you go to somebody to tell you what to do. Go Google, type, how long does it take for a paver to cure? How long should I wait before I roof? This is information. I know you all have smartphones by the time you're watching me. Simple stuff. Apply yourself. Trust me, you'll see a lot of things changing for you. When someone comes to you, this is the price. Nah, that's not the price. You know, have alternatives. Say, I have Doreen Constructions. I'm gonna go and get Cliff Constructions. I'm gonna get and say, oh, this construction, and compare. And then don't just compare prices. You'll have a problem. If you want something good, you best be willing to cough money, especially in construction. Compare with material quality first. Compare with knowledge of the situation, and then come down to price comparison. Don't start with price, these ones are cheap. But cheap, do they know what they're doing? They're cheap. What are they going to do for you? What are you getting? You're getting some substandard work. Yet you are in position to pay someone at least mid-range for some high-class work. Stop comparing prices. Compare expertise, material, yeah? And some of these people, we've seen them work. So you say, I like how this man works, you know? Transparency is important in construction. Most people don't have that. When a team can't be transparent with you, straight up, there is something wrong. Something wrong. So it starts from there. The fish is not rotting from the tail. It's rotting from the head. Most of it. Well, I hope I'm not ranting too much, but please, cure, minimum 14 days. Some, depending on your mix. If you're just using sand, cement, please, your minimum should be a month. Your minimum. If you're not putting stone dust. And if you're not putting stone dust, make sure whatever you're making is not load bearing, because it will collapse. That's the truth, it will collapse. They're so light. They're so light. Some of these things you can just carry it and see its work. Carry it, lift it. This is light. And the ability to tip that truck. Can they tip it after making this for you? They pick one by one, like a glass or eggs. Yeah? These are all pointers that should show you. maybe I shouldn't pay this much for that. Pointers. So please cure. Don't forget to cure, and if don't let rain hit those things before they've been fully cured. Rain erodes them. You are busy complaining the machine is bad. Wow. But these people, before they ship out these machines, they've tested them several times. They've adjusted, they've applied themselves, which means you're doing something wrong. Make the ground flat. It's important. Flat ground. You know, a lot of things. Yeah. So this is how you take care of a block, a paver. Everything is the same. Even bricks, they are covered, by the way. If you've never been on site for bricks, they cover them, especially after they've just been molded. Before burning, they cover them. So that's me. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share.